Hi everyone, welcome to iQuanta's YouTube classroom और आज हम JIPMAT 2025 the final paper of this series we're going to solve it today. I hope you all have learned a lot. I hope you all are doing well. I hope आपकी जो भी preparation है वो बहुत अच्छी चल रही है. If there is any problem, any questions, any queries, anything regarding JIPMAT or any question, you can always comment down below. I hope your health is good. I hope mentally, physically, everything is good with you. Let's begin. Without wasting any time, let's start solving the paper and be very, very attentive and do the questions. So question number 1 says that choose the correct meaning of the phrase idiom from the given options. Where discipline is concerned, I put my foot down. We have options given. I take a firm stand. Just give me a second. Let me select a pen. Yeah. Take a firm stand. Okay. So now if you see, they're talking about where discipline is concerned. That means this person is being serious about something. I put my foot down. So take a firm stand is the right answer here. It's basically that, to assert authority firmly, right? And basically to refuse to, compromise with that. So this person is basically saying that I do not compromise when it is about discipline, right? And I take a firm stand about it. Take a light stand is actually, opposite. So it's the opposite meaning of what actually put my foot down means. Take a heavy stand is not an idiomatically correct phrase. So we can again roll it down. So इस वाले scene में बस ये होता है that you need to remember, right? You need to learn the meanings and the idioms. Your logic or your, any luck wouldn't help you. Luck might help you sometimes, though logic can also help. If you learn a lot of idioms, only then logic will work, right? Because you get familiar with the the pattern, that how a particular idiom is given, so how the meaning will come out. So आप logic भी लगा सकते हैं, but not every time. This only happens with practice. If you've learned a lot of idioms, a lot of phrases, तभी ये हो पाते. Otherwise, it's quite luck based, and luck doesn't always support. So yeah. So yes, take a shaky stand again is taking a shaky stand is quite, it sounds like that ki you're being unsure about something. So that is why fourth also can be ruled out. Okay, so shaky stand, it means being unsure. Let me just see a few things. Yup. ठीक है, so याद कर लेना, ठीक है. Now identify the error in the sentence given below. After knowing truth, they took the right decision in the matter and punished the real culprit. Now you can, while reading it only, you can understand that there is a problem with sentence number 1. Option number 1, which is after knowing truth. So truth basically is a specific noun, right? Here, so it definitely needs an article, and it needs what article? It needs a definite article, which is the. ठीक है, अब article दो टाइप के होते हैं. One is definite article and the second is indefinite article, जिसमें आता है a और an, right? So whenever we are talking about something specific, we use article the. Whenever we talk generally, right, in a generalized way, you use the article a or an depending on the consonant sound, है ना, or the vowel sound. ठीक है, so yes, the will be used after knowing the truth, right? So The error is in first one, hence A is the correct option. Choose the option which best replaces the underlined phrase. Happy is the man who acquired the habit of reading when he is young. Okay, so now you can say that they are talking about the sentence basically is in simple present. And simple present, whenever we talk about simple present, it has to talk about a general truth, right? तो जनरल ट्रूथ के बारे में बात करेंगे तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है सिंपल प्रेजेंट है. अब हैप्पी इज द मैन इफ यू लुक एट दिस पर्टिकुलर सेंटेंस, इट इज़ अ जनरल ट्रूथ दैट हैप्पी इज द मैन हु एक्वायर्ड द हैबिट ऑफ रीडिंग व्हेन ही इज़ यंग. ऐसा इंसान खुश होता है. दिस इज़ अ जनरल थिंग, एंड जनरल थिंग में हम सिंपल प्रेजेंट में ही यूज़ करते हैं. एंड दिस टेंस बिकॉज दे से हैप्पी इज़, so obviously it is a simple tense, then you need the verb as well. So why would we use acquired, right? Who acquires, right? That's the correct option here. So happy is the man who acquires. 2 says which was acquiring, so basically this is a wrong structure, so we can rule it out. 3 says who acquire, subject verb agreement का problem है इसमें, ठीक है. Who has been acquired, again who has been acquired. Happy is the man who has been acquired. Who has, man acquired है, so wrong meaning, right? Wrong meaning here. So next, out of the 4 alternatives, choose the one that can be substituted for the given words, phrases. Okay, ठीक है, चलो let's see. Misappropriation of money. Okay, we have robbery first. Now robbery is basically a forceful theft, ठीक है. तो misappropriation, that means misuse, wrongful use, right? तो misappropriation, तो robbery is like forceful theft, so it cannot be the correct answer. Embezzlement, so embezzlement actually means that there is a wrongful use of entrusted money going on, है ना, कि आपको चार्ज दिया गया है ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर मनी एंड यू आर यूजिंग इट wrongfully, है ना. तो yes, embezzlement would be the right term here. It actually means misappropriation of money, which is like intentional, which is it's illegal, it is unauthorized. और एक charge money, एक interested money है एंड उसका use जो है you are using it wrong, in a wrong way, right? So it's basically an unauthorized use of money. So yes, embezzlement is the correct answer here. Theft is general stealing. It is general stealing, है ना. एक होता है forceful stealing, एक होती है general stealing. So theft is that. Fraud, now fraud again is deception. It is not necessarily misappropriation of money, but yes, it includes deception, right? You deceive someone. So fourth also can be ruled out. Embezzlement is the best option here. You might get confused between embezzlement and fraud. Fraud is like planned. Fraud is like different kind of a thing here, कि आप मल्टीपल लोगों के साथ, अननोन लोगों के साथ. बट हियर इन एम्बेजलमेंट यू use the entrusted money, right, in a wrong way. So yeah. Next is this. In the following question, a sentence has been given in direct speech. Out of the 4 alternatives suggested, select the one which best expresses the same sentence in indirect speech. Okay, so the question says, Pritha said to me, we have to win the trophy. ये हमारा सेंटेंस है. नाउ वी नीड टू सी स्टेप बाय स्टेप. So first we need to change reporting verb, right? इन्होंने क्या दिया है? said to me, जिसको अपन क्या बनाएंगे? told me, right? said to me लिखा है यहाँ पे, told me. सेकेंड हम क्या चेंज करेंगे? we will change pronoun, right? we here, we जो आपको दिख रहा है, we basically it refers to Pritha and her team, not the listeners. ठीक है? so indirect speech में अपन इसको क्या कर देंगे? they, right? we will make it they. अब अपन थर्ड स्टेप की बात करते हैं. सोचो 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 क्या करना है थर्ड स्टेप में. क्या करते हैं? रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब चेंज करते हैं, प्रोनाउन चेंज करते हैं, और इम्पॉर्टेंट वी चेंज द टेंस, है ना. अब रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब की बात अगर हम करें, इट इज इन द पास्ट टेंस, पास्ट में है, जो कि क्या है? सेड. अब नाउ द टेंस विल चेंज एंड हैव टू जो यहाँ पे है, रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब तो अपना पास्ट में है, हम क्या करेंगे? टेंस चेंज करेंगे. यहाँ पे हैव लिखा है, राइट? वी हैव टू, तो अपन इसको क्या बनाएंगे? हैव टू. चलो ये रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब है, इससे कंफ्यूज मत होना. आई वाज जस्ट गिविंग अ रेफरेंस, बट टेंस हमारा हैव टू से रिलेटेड है, तो वी विल मेक इट हैड टू. आई होप इट इज माई इमेज इज नॉट कमिंग हियर, बट हैव टू के साइड में हैड टू लिखा है मैंने. ठीक है. देन व्हाट यू विल डू? सी और क्या है सेंटेंस में? व्हाट यू कैन सी एन एडजेक्टिव, डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिव एडजेक्टिव. तो अपन इसको क्या करेंगे? वी हैव टू चेंज द डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिव एडजेक्टिव, जिसमें क्या है? दिस एंड दिस ट्रॉफी, इसको अपन बना देंगे क्या? दैट ट्रॉफी. अब देखो, ए कहता है पृथा टोल्ड मी दैट हैव टू विन दैट ट्रॉफी. This sounds so awkward. Plus, the tense is also not changed. Pritha told me that they have to win the trophy. Win that trophy. So, tense is not changed here. Sounds awkward. We can rule it out. Right? 2 says, Pritha told me that we had to win that trophy. अब यहाँ first one में demonstrative changed है. राइट. दे चेंज्ड है, बट टेंस चेंज नहीं है. यहाँ पे प्रोनाउन चेंज नहीं है, सो वी कैन रूल इट आउट. 3 says Pritha told me that we have to win that trophy. अब told me that we have to win that trophy. What do you think? Is it a correct answer? Why do we rule it out? Let's say why? Because pronoun and tense both are not changed. So दोनों ही गलत हैं. अपन इसको we and have. Pritha told me, perfect, that they had to win that trophy. क्यों? अपन indirect speech में change कर रहे हैं ना इसको. So yes, fourth is the perfect answer according to this one. Right? All these steps, fourth is the correct answer, and hence we can move forward. Pick the most appropriate punctuation mark for the following sentence. The sentence is, what a good man he is. Now, what a good man he is, यहाँ हम देख पा रहे हैं that it is, someone is expressing some sort of feelings for someone, positive feelings, that they think positively about someone, right? So full stop, question mark, colon, nap, exclamation mark. Why? Because exclamation mark is a punctuation that expresses, strong emotions. And when I say what a good man he is, I have some sort of strong emotions about that statement, right? That I'm making for him. So yes, C is the correct answer here. Next, pick the word with the correct spelling. Okay, so this particular word is actually pronounced as lieutenant, and lieutenant as well. Lieutenant in British English and lieutenant in American English. So spelling आपको आती है तो आती है, नहीं आती तो नहीं आती, राइट. सो यहाँ पे NANT सही है, TI इज रॉन्ग बिकॉज lieutenant is LIEUTENANT and we can see second one is the correct answer. Lieutenant is a British pronunciation, but this isn't the spelling. So lieutenant, the spelling again is wrong. So yeah, second one is the correct option here. Pick the antonym of the word entreaty. देखो, entreaty basically means, let me select a nice color first. It basically means sincere. ठीक है, it means sincere, earnest, and a humble request. Remove the comma. Sincere request, humble request, earnest request. ठीक है. Now you can understand that obviously 3 is the correct answer here. Request is the correct answer for entreaty. Immense is basically relating to a great size. So immense can be ruled out, I feel. Command again is, what do we say? Command is an authoritative order. तो अपन इसको हटा सकते हैं. Then there's hatred. Hatred को भी अपन हटा सकते हैं. ठीक है? Moving on. Pick the synonym of the word proscribe. Okay, proscribe is, what do I say? Officially, forbidden, prohibited. ठीक है? So obviously अब मैंने officially forbidden बोल दिया तो forbid ही होगा सही answer. So yes, 2 is the correct answer. Torture, progressive, elemental, these are not the correct answer because forbid is the correct answer. इसके अलावा अगर हम proscribe का मतलब अगर हम सोचने की कोशिश करें तो proscribed, if something is proscribed, तो it can also means that something is, it is condemned as dangerous. ठीक है? Progressive is progressive, torture is torture, elemental is, it's fundamental. ठीक है? Elemental का मतलब होता है elemental stage, like basic, fundamental, it's like primary. ठीक है? So 4th can also be rejected. Alright, pick the odd one out from the following options. After this, I'm going to drink a little bit of water. So yeah, strip off. अब देखो, odd one out ढूंढना, that means you need to look for a, a composed letter, compound letter जो कि compound words जो कि गलत हैं. That means they do not mean anything specifically. तो strip off की अगर हम बात करें, strip off is, when you strip off someone, you means you deprive someone of something, right? For example, he was stripped of his title, right? He was stripped of his title. That means you took away the title from him. He was deprived of the title. Okay, so that's strip off. To deprive someone of something. Okay, then there is strip off. Strip off is related to remove clothes, right? For example, he stripped off his jacket, let's say. Okay, so this strip off is to remove clothes, and then we have strip away, then we have strip against. Strip away is to remove gradually, or to basically peel off gradually. So that's strip away. So strip away, for example, the paint was stripped away after some time. Okay, then there's strip against. Strip against is, it's a wrong phrasal verb. So out of all these phrasal verbs, fourth one is the one that doesn't really exist and it's like wrong. So fourth can be ruled out here. Now, in such questions, for questions like this one, you need to know, right? You need to know. You need to be, ऐसा नहीं कि you have to consciously sit and learn all these things, but it naturally comes to you when you read a lot, right? अभी आपने अगर reading की होगी तो आपने strip off, strip away तीनों पढ़े होंगे, but strip against आपने देखा ही नहीं होगा कभी. So even if you do not know the exact meaning, you would know that strip against is nothing, right? Strip का मतलब ही है to remove, है ना. अब remove OF, double OF, double OFF away, these will make a difference, right? Obviously, but strip is like, so yep. Okay, in the following question, a sentence has been given in passive voice. Out of the 4 given alternatives, select the one which best expresses the same sentence in active voice. ठीक है, आपने को passive voice का sentence मिला है यहाँ पे और हमें simply उसको active voice में करना है. अब आपको एक ध्यान रखना है, a good deal of money will be made by the investment. तो अपने को क्या करना होता है passive voice में? Passive, so active voice is when the subject is doing the action. ठीक है, passive voice is when the action is being done to the subject. जैसे कि यहाँ पे हो रहा है, the good deal of money will be made by the investment. So अपने को एक तो इस चीज़ का ध्यान रखना that we have to reverse, जो कि you can see the investment. Second is we have to retain the tense, and the tense is what? Will be. Will be. So let's see. Chalo. Will be as in future tense. Okay, future tense. The investment has made a good deal. Nap. The investment will be making a good deal. We unnecessarily do not need a gerund here. The investment has been making again. The investment will make a good deal of money. So yes, future tense. Future tense is retained here. So this one is the correct answer. Now, below are given alternatives to the underlined part of the sentence, which may improve the sentence. Choose the correct alternative. Some forms of feminisms have been criticized for take into account only white, middle class and college educated perspectives. ठीक है, let's see अपना what's the problem on what can be improved in take into. For take into, so it sounds already very bad. So there's a rule that after a preposition, here, या for preposition, we always use verb ing, ठीक है, which is the gerund form. This is one simple rule that you need to remember. Here or for के बाद you use a verb ing, gerund form. So criticized for, to take, for taking, to take, by take. So obviously second one is the correct answer. Very simple. Criticized for taking into account only white middle class and blah blah blah. Now pick the antonym of the word colossal. Okay, colossal is huge. It's huge. ठीक है. Epic, rust, no. Tiny, antonym ढूंढ रहे हैं क्योंकि अपन. Yes. Vast तो similar meaning word हो गया है ना. So choose the correct meaning of the proverb idiom from the given options. Not to mince matters. ठीक है. Not to mince matters. अब mince in generally, mince का मतलब होता है to cut or chop something into very small pieces. That's mincing. But ज़रूरी नहीं है कि डायरेक्टली यही मीनिंग हो कि आप कट कर रहे हो मैटर को. But mince is like to make it small, right? And when you make something small, it becomes very precise and very plain. So to be at ease, no, that's not correct. To not confuse others, to not interfere in others' matters. It is to speak out plainly, right? That's the correct. It means speak directly, not to mince matters. So you do not, you do not chop and, what do we say? You do not just chop and spread it everywhere, because smaller the pieces, smaller, difficult to pick them up. So not to mince matters, you just plainly give one slice and you're like. So to speak plainly is not to mince matters, right? Okay. Pick the synonym of word callous. Callous. Okay. अब callous का मतलब होता है insensitive. Basically not caring about the suffering, the pain of others. That's callous. So passive, careless, cursed, you can understand now कि insensitive ही होगा. So D is the correct answer here. Next question. In the following sentence, find out which part of the sentence has an error and select the appropriate option. The patient died despite he had received the best medical help from the hospital. Okay, so हमको एक बात समझने की ज़रूरत है. Let's talk about it. ये options हैं. We have these options, and out of these we need to see which part is incorrect. So एक rule होता है कि, पर वो rule क्या कहता है? Let's talk about it. Whenever there is a preposition, and here we can see that despite is a preposition, right? Despite is a preposition, and whenever there is a preposition, so after a preposition, we always use a noun, a pronoun, or a gerund. We do not use a subject plus a verb, which is a full clause. So we do not use a full clause, मतलब subject or he had received. No, we are not required to use that, right, after a preposition. So hence we know that second one is the incorrect option here. ठीक है, बट अगर ये सही नहीं है तो क्या सही होता? सही हो सकता था despite receiving the best treatment from the hospital staff whatsoever. ठीक है, हो सकता था despite the fact that he received whatsoever, right, received the best treatment and all that stuff, despite the fact. और हो सकता था okay, died because the patient died, right, so the patient died although he received the best treatment. ठीक है, ये correct statements हो सकते थे, but well, so second one is the correct answer here. ठीक है, तो yeah, rules, knowing the rules is very important. It's the most important thing, in fact. Well, choose the correct meaning of the underlined word. Students are allowed only one resit. So resit is basically to take an exam again, and to take a rest. No, we are talking about students and we are talking about what they're allowed to take. They are allowed to take ample rest out of school. In school, no rest until unless you actually need it. So but allowed to take only one rest, that's not right. Creative work, no, in school they say do as much creative work as you can, so we can rule that out. Third is the correct answer. To do research on topics, no, they do want you to research on a lot of topics, not just only one topic, right? So 3 is the correct answer here. Okay, then we have in the question, the sentence has 2 blanks, each blank indicating that something has been omitted. Choose the set of words from the blanks which best fits the meaning of the sentence as a whole. The dash of new project in this energy sector is dash only, not only on low cost or profitability of the project, but also on sustainability. Basically they want to, what do we understand by this particular sentence is that the project actually depends on sustainability, right? So let's see. So planning sounds good, the planning of new project, but vulnerable is not the correct word to use here, to be used here. Vulnerable basically means weak or easy to hurt physically or emotionally, right? So we can rule it out. The occurrence of new projects in the energy sector, occurrence, reoccurrence हो सकती है, occurrence किसी चीज़ का आना हो सकता है, होना हो सकता है, but here we are talking about a new project and we are more of planning and starting it than the occurrence of it. It wouldn't happen out of nowhere, right? So occurrence doesn't sound very formal and very the right word to be used here. Premised basically means that something is based on a particular idea or belief. So we can say that the idea is that not only low cost or profitability but sustainability as well. So premised को अपन एक बार को we can still see, we can still think कि premised हो सकता है, but still idea and belief. Okay, they are saying not only on dash but also, so it sounds more like it is dependent on it, right? And they've given one option also like that. So but again, premised not only, that the idea is not only low profit or low cost or profit, but also sustainability. So yeah, that can also be one option, but occurrence doesn't make much sense, right? 3 says initiation, and in such questions you need to find out the best option, right? So you can actually keep it on standby if you feel that 2 can be the answer and explore other options. Initiation, the initiation of new projects in the energy sector is Very good, very nice. Initiation. Dependent not only on cost, low cost or profitability. So 3 can be the answer, right? But let's see fourth as well. Starting. Okay, sounds good. The starting of new project, perfect. Possible. Sector is possible, not only on low cost. So why would you talk like ulta? Because right now we're talking about, you know, that what things are important, what is it based on. So possible isn't again the best option to be written here, and the best option is third one. Okay, it can make sense that sector is possible not only, you know, the starting is not the starting of new project is possible not only on low cost profitability. Might make sense, but it is not the best option here, and we are here to select best options, right? Don't forget that. Identify the error in the sentence given below. Education is a instrument which imparts knowledge and therefore indirectly controls power and narratives. Now I can easily understand that there is an article का problem, right? Article error है. An instrument होता है भैया, right? That's so obvious, right? Which imparts knowledge. Therefore, see, therefore के बाद में एक कॉमा भी आना चाहिए था, बट उन्होंने पंक्चुएशन का पूछा नहीं है. So yeah, the comma is missing, but 1 is the correct answer. Punctuation based questions भी पूछे जाएंगे, पूछा है पीछे, but let's see. Okay, from the following 4 alternatives, choose the one that can be substituted for the given words, okay, and sentence. One who is indifferent to pain or pleasure. Okay. See, indifferent. Okay. Eccentric नहीं हो सकता. Eccentric is basically, you know, unusual or strange in behavior, right? So eccentric नहीं हो सकता. Philosopher भी नहीं हो सकता, right? Philosopher is like who talks about philosophy and all. Eccentric depends on behavior, people's behavior, right? Strange, unusual. Fatalist, one who is indifferent to pain or pleasure. A fatalist is a person who actually believes that, you know, all events are predetermined by fate, है ना? Or, you know, destiny, and they are inevitable. This is what a fatalist thinks. So I don't think so that matches the sentence, right? So we can rule out that as well. So yep, stoic is the correct answer. Stoic is, you know, suffering pain or maybe difficulty without complaint. So a stoic is someone like that. So yeah, 4th is the correct answer here. Okay. Passage, and whenever you notice that they are, you know, there are numbers in between. For example, here they've given Roman numbers. Whenever you see something like that, just understand that this is going to be a grammar based question. Okay, they might, or grammar plus vocab based question. So read it carefully. Okay. Okay, so they say unlike dash Britain. Okay, unlike Britain तो बहुत सही साउंड कर रहा है. तो यहाँ क्या होना चाहिए? कुछ तो हो सकता है. Let's see. The Indian Constitution has a Bill of Rights. Okay, चलो इसको पढ़ने से पहले सेकंड क्वेश्चन पे चले आते हैं तुरंत. It will save us a lot of time. Pick the most appropriate. Okay, it is not chronologically given, so we'll have to read the passage first and understand. Chalo, anyway, this was a break with the past, and the roots of the change lay in the history of the Indian freedom. prior to the enactment of the Parliament Act of 1935, demands were made. Okay. India, for the incorporation into the Act a Bill of Rights, this demand was rejected by the British government following its own tradition that freedom was best preserved not by constitutional provisions but by adherence to the rule of law and the unwritten practices and conventions. Okay? They basically rejected the law because they gave their own reason. They gave the reason of their tradition, where they believe that constitution is preserved by adherence, right? It is best preserved not by constitutional provisions but by adherence, right? The freedom is best protected by that, not provisions, by the way. Anyway, right, so this is what the author is trying to say. So we can understand they are going to talk about Britain and the contrast and conflicts that they had. Then the author says that this was not to the Indian mind, which had long suffered from discriminations, disabilities and oppressive acts of the foreigner rulers. To Indians, as to most modern minds, a Bill of Rights was an essential feature. I am emphasizing on this. An essential feature of a complete constitution. ठीक है? Obviously, Bill of Rights तो बड़ा ज़रूरी है. It has been said that the Indian reaction in enacting the Bill of Rights like the American reaction. ठीक है? Now we can see कि यहाँ पे अपने को last यहाँ पे दिया है, then it's here, the number is in large measure a product of the British rule. The Indian Bill of Rights dash in a certain measure the pattern of the Constitution of the United States of America, but it has also borrowed from other constitutions, and some of its provisions are indicative of the peculiar difficulties of the institutions of the country itself. Okay? So the author talks about Britain, Indian Constitution, and we always had a bill, they asked for the right of Bill of Right, but it was rejected. Then they make a comparison here, okay, towards the end, and that's it. The paragraph is very easy writings, no heavy words, no heavy vocabulary is used here, जो हमें समझ ना आए, कोई भी ऐसा word नहीं इन्होंने दिया. That is the reason for this is these, because this question is going to be a different kind of question. See, pick the most appropriate word to fill to in the given passage. Okay, let's see. On behalf, behalf of, on the behalf of, on behalf of. Okay, chalo. 2 we need to fulfill. Prior to the enactment of the Parliament Act of 1935, demands were made India, खाली तो लगी रहता, made India for, so on behalf of, right? On behalf of is the correct idiomatic usage, right? So on behalf of, D is the correct answer. On first one says, I'm so sorry, on behalf, this is basically an incomplete phrase without of, है ना? Behalf of, it lacks the preposition on, so we can reject it. Then on the behalf of sounds very correct, but it is unnecessarily wordy, right? And we do not need that in aptitude exams, right? So the can be removed and this one still makes sense. So yes, D is the correct answer. 2 says pick the most appropriate word to fill fifth one in the given passage. Large, largest, largely and largely. Yeah, the third cannot be the correct answer because the spelling is wrong. So let's look at fifth one. In a certain measure, the pattern of the Constitution of the United States of America, but it has also borrowed largely. Yes, largely. Adverb largely. Borrowed largely. Verb है ना, adverb का मतलब ये है कि it will add to the verb, right? तो largely is the correct adverb to be used here, and it correctly modifies borrowed also, है ना? So it basically, modifies it, and it is basically, what do we say, indicating some extra, indicated the extent of borrowing. So it's like, huge, so largely borrowed. So yep, C would be the largest, yeah, largely would be the correct answer. D is also largely, but the spelling is wrong. Okay. For third one, accepted, accepting, acceptable, and acceptably. Okay, let's see. Third one. This was not dashed to the Indian mind, which had long suffered from discrimination. So this was not acceptable. We can just read it, we just know the word, and we, kind of okay, just 1 second, okay? Yeah, you try to figure out the answer for fifth one. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I had an important message. Okay, so where were we? We were at acceptable. So yes, acceptable would be the correct, क्या कहते हैं, correct adjective to be used here, right? Fifth one नहीं, third one I guess. Yeah, third one, that it was not acceptable for India. तो ये हमें convey करता है basically कि it was not acceptable for India. The approach was not acceptable. वो acceptable लगी ही नहीं उनको, ठीक है? So yep. Just 1 second. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so all right, so third answer would be C, and yes. Okay, question number 24 says pick the most appropriate word to fill the fourth blank. Follows. So for this we can understand very easily that we'll have to see the tense of the passage, and okay, fourth, the Indian Bill of Rights dash in a certain measure. As we can see that there is a present tense, what do we say, consistency, right? It has been, is in large measure. So we can see that present tense की consistency है इस पूरे paragraph में. तो obviously present tense की consistency है तो follows ही होना चाहिए, right? Follows होना चाहिए, because subject verb agreement के हिसाब से भी जब हम देखते हैं तो if we see the sentence basically, तो it says that the Indian Bill of Rights, right? The Indian Bill of Rights follows, right, in a certain measure, and hence it is in the present tense. So follows would be the best to be used here. right? Yeah, so B follows. Okay, next. Pick the most appropriate word to fill dash in given. Okay, one we have to fill, we have option the, in, on, with. The, in, on, with, go back. वैसे exam में you wouldn't face such a problem because the passage will be here, right? You'll have this feature to scroll the passage and the question will be written here. Then you'll scroll again, or you'll change the what do we say, you'll change the slide. Usme bhi the passage will be written here and the question will be here, so it wouldn't be a problem then. Okay, unlike dash Britain, so we had on, so on nahi, unlike the Britain, no, the United States hota hai, the United Kingdom hota hai, but I have taught this in one of the sessions कि कुछ names के साथ कुछ country के names के साथ the is used but not with every country, so that can be rejected. In, unlike in Britain, yes, that's possible, that's a possibility. Unlike in Britain, yeah, on cannot be the correct thing to use here. With wouldn't be correct, so in would be perfect, because there's a grammatical rule कि after unlike in comparative structures, no preposition is actually used. Like, it's the rule. Typically it's not used, but since we have like 4 options here, so unlike in Britain, because something is happening, the bill and everything, whatever it is, it's talking about Britain, so we can easily rule out B here, the other options here, because grammatically they do not fit and in kind of fits. But according to the rule, unlike के साथ comparative structures में we do not need any preposition as such. So well, so 26, question number 26 says choose the order of the sentence marked A, B, C, D, E that forms a logical paragraph. That means it is a parajumble, obviously. So let's see. C, A, B and E are the options. This bottom-up civil consciousness, though not rooted in Indian. Okay, so you can see कि E का एक ही option है. This bottom-up civil consciousness. That means they have discussed something about it. So you can rule out D, right? Then let's see B. These organizations have emphasized on an approach towards these organizations. It is a pronoun, right? Here, these organizations. So no, demonstrative adjective. So that means they have talked about something before. B also can be ruled out very easily. A says such an intervention in political reforms. So A can also be ruled out. C says the ever widening group of middle class Indians in using NGOs to come face to face with India's poorer and working classes and to plant the idea of rights and liberties across these communities, blah 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 whatsoever. Basically C is introducing the NGO here, but whatsoever अपने को देखना है, आंसर निकालना है within 10-20 seconds, and by reading the first statements given here we can easily rule them out, right? D, option E, this one can be ruled out. B can be ruled out because of these. A can be ruled out because of such an. So yeah, obviously what's left then, right? Okay, next. Okay, B, A, C, D. A, B, C, D सारे ही दे दिए. Let's read them. फिर तो what option do we have? B says people here are generally very open. People here, people where? They must have mentioned about something. So B can be ruled out. Yet he is remembered with reverence. Reverence basically is respect for somebody, right? Respect and love. So A can be ruled out, but yet, because something must have happened, right? So this one can also be rejected. C says for instance. These are 10-second parajumbles. you can just very quickly find the correct answer. So C also can be ruled out. India is a country which respects spirituality much more than materialism. Okay, sounds like a general sentence, hence D is the correct answer. Okay, again a parajumble, let's rearrange it. B, affirmative action is a policy. ठीक है, B से हो सकता है start हो. D says against certain group of people. Again, against what certain group of people? So this can be ruled out. C, we'll have to find out, right? That tries to make up. Again, this can be ruled out. D says D again can be ruled out. Yeah. So हाँ, पढ़ लेना है एक बार. जैसे against certain groups of people, the rule had been made. But again, certain is written, right? What certain? We will find out after reading B. B says affirmative action as a policy. Okay. C says that tries to make up for past discriminations or unfair treatments against certain group of people. So yeah, now we know what's that certain group of people, and hence A is the correct answer here. Okay. Now we have a passage. Let's see what this passage talks about. Okay, one of the peculiarities which distinguish the present age in the multiplication of books, अब इसको से समझ आ रहा है कि they might talk about, publication house, and they're talking about peculiarities. So let's see what it is going to be about. Every day brings new advertisements and literary undertakings, and we are flattered with repeated promises of growing wise on easier terms than our progenitors. What are progenitors? Do we know what are progenitors? They might also ask us in a question ki, what is the meaning of progenitor? What is the meaning of successor? Right? So progenitor basically is an ancestor. Okay? So yup, easier terms than our progenitors. How much either happiness or knowledge is advanced by this multitude of author? It is not very easy to decide. Okay? He that teaches us anything which we know not before is undoubtedly to be loved as a benefactor, and he that supplies life with innocent amusement will certainly be cherished as a pleasing companion. Basically, anyone who basically, teaches us something valuable that we have never known before, that person deserves, respect and everything. So, yup. Then the author says, but a few of those, now he's talking about other aspect, but a few of those who fill the world with books have any pretensions to the hope either of pleasing or instructing. They have often no other task than to lay 2 books before them, out of which they compile a third without any material of their own. And this little application of judgment to those which former authors have supplied. Basically, the author wants to say that, compiling 2 books, author wants to say that we need people who actually give us something fresh, something new to learn. Not somebody who just bring in 2 books, compile them and make a third one without adding something new of their own, right? That wouldn't be a fair thing for like the readers and everyone, right? Then the author says that all compilations are useless. I do not assert. So by this particular statement, we can easily understand that the author is not against it, but he is against of the usage of this particular process, compilation, right? Basically the result of compilation, even if you compile, there should be something new of your own mind. You read 2 books, out of those 2 books you got a third perspective. That third perspective should be written in the third book, which is compiled by the other 2 books, right? So yeah, so we can understand that the author is not against it, but he's giving the, what do we say, the cons, the bad side. He's also introducing us to the bad side. Particles of science are often widely scattered upon topics very remote from the principal subject, which are often more valuable than formal treaties. Treaties basically is a long, it's a long formal article, maybe a text or something about a particular thing, about a particular topic, okay, which yet are not known because they are not promised in the title. He that collects those under proper heads is laudably employed. Laudably is, somebody who deserves, like laudably employed as in deserving praise. Okay, deserving praise. For though he exerts no great abilities in the work, he facilitates the progress of others, and by making that easy to attainment which is already written, may give some mind more vigorous and more adventurous than his own, leisure for new thoughts and originality of design. Right, that's true. But the collections poured lately from the press have seldom been made at any great expense of time and inquiry, and therefore only serve to distract choice without supplying any real want. Yeah, so you just need to be publishing, you just need to write, you just need to, bring that book out there without actually giving us what is required, without giving us something that's new to learn, something that has some value, some originality. You do not do that. Seldom basically is where was it? Yeah, the press have seldom. Seldom is, not often. Seldom is rarely, right? The press have rarely been made at any great expense of time. So yeah, the press here is basically the publications, right? So let's see what the author asks us. Easy to understand passage, nothing much. So which of the following statements are true about the given passage? Okay, let's understand. The passage presents, we need to find out the statements that are true. Okay, do not ignore that. Statements that are true. The passage presents a robust picture of the publication, its history. Well, if we talk about the picture of the publication industry, the author rather has a very critical view, right, about it than a very comprehensive overview on the industry. So this one can be ruled out. This particular statement is not true, so we can rule it out. He has a very critical view, as we can see. B says the passage presents a bleak condition of publication in the present age. Okay. Yeah, that's true, because they only serve to distract choices, right? This is what the author said, without supplying any real want here, right? So yeah, that's true. B can be one of the options, so A can be rejected, and this one also can be rejected, because B is true, because they're only distracting, right, without any, without supplying something valuable, right, something of need. So these can be ruled out. C says the main idea of the passage is elaborated through juxtaposition. Yeah, it actually contrasts valuable authors to the ones who merely merely compile and just present the same thing in front of us without giving us any new knowledge or any original thoughts. So yeah, and that's absolutely true. there is juxtaposition, so B and C, so we can rule this out. So definitely D is also one thing. The passage is primarily in the present tense with active and occasional passive sentence. Yeah, it uses is, brings, supplies, if you remember. So yeah, advanced by, is. So yes, we can say that it was present tense with active and occasional passive sentence, correct, construction. So this is how actually the passage is constructed basically. But yeah, okay, which of the following terms suitably describe the idea stated in the given passage? Okay, copyright laws, this is not directly mentioned. So yep, they talk about compilation, and the author says that he's not against compilation, but he also says that compilation without any new thought is something that I want to object on. So A can be ruled out because he doesn't mention about it very directly. B, plagiarism. Yes, authors who compile books without any new thought, so obviously that's plagiarism only. So B is correct. So sub mein hi B hai, so we can't really reject any option right now. C says duplication. Yup, compilation without any new thought is duplication, right? So it's just that you have picked up two books and you have made them a little more precise and converted them into one book. So yeah, C can be correct. Because we're looking for the following terms suitably describe the idea stated. Yeah, innovation, no. He says that there is no innovation, right? There's no innovation. There's like lack of innovation, right? There's lack of innovation is basically mentioned in the passage. So yeah, so B and C only would be the correct answers here. Okay, which one of the following statements are true about the given passage? Okay, let's see. A says the writer condemns the vanity publications devoid of new ideas. Oh yes, that's true. He condemns the vanity work. So A can be true. B, though the writer acknowledges the contribution of the genuine writers, he appears to be worried about the prevailing publications. Yeah, that's true. He's very he's worried about that. C says the writer denigrates and outrightly rejects the compilation work in general. No, he does not do that. He says that compilation is wrong. I do not assert, right? This is what he said. So definitely not C, because he does not reject compilation entirely. So 3C nahi ho sakta. This one has C, we can reject it. D says instead of being totally against the compilation, the writer opines that such work could be substantially useful if they are done properly. Yep, that's true, because compilation is, if usefully done, if it's done nicely with a new thought and all, then that's fine. This is what the author kind of conveys. So A, B and D. So C is the correct answer here. Perfect. Match the list 1 with list 2. Okay. Alias. Okay, alias is second name, right? It is second name. So fort, we can see fort, so we can reject these ones. So B and D are the options that we have. Then we have de jure. De jure is a legal matter. Okay, so 3. So obviously 3. Yeah, that's correct. C, 2 and 1. In lieu of. Okay, in proportion. In proportion is in proportion 1. And the second one, in the place of. So in lieu of is in the place of, right? कि इसकी जगह ये pro rata is in proportion. So in the place of second. Yeah, so B is the correct answer here. Yep. Lee, have I mentioned it incorrectly? Because in Lee of is in the place of, right? So second one is C. Yeah. Okay. This one is correct. Okay. Should remember these words as well. Again, we have to do the same thing but in a different way. Simple tense, past tense, past tense. Okay. Let's see. The team had won the match. Okay, so past perfect हुआ, had won है, तो A का 3 होगा. Let's see कहाँ पे है 3, 2, 4, 1. So definitely this one is correct. बाकी देखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. If options are given in such a way, right? So we can easily find out कि C ही सही answer है. ठीक है? The team won the match. It is simple past tense. The team had been winning the match, past perfect continuous. The team was winning the match, past continuous tense. Okay, be at cross purpose. Okay, again we have two lists. Okay, be at cross purpose, not understanding each other. So you're like this. So second one is correct for A. So 2, 1, 4. So yes, C is correct. This one is, if you know just one answer, you can find out कि कौन सा हो सकता है. This is how you compare. For example, A का एक और दिया रहता है यहाँ पे 1. Then you'll have to compare B, है ना, क्योंकि ये options तो as it is reject हो जाते हैं. For example, यहाँ पे दिया होता that A is 1, like A is 2, matches with list 2 का second one. So yeah, but yes, C is the correct answer. Now that's it for today. This was all. I hope you were there with me and you seriously solved the paper. I'll see you in the next series and have fun. If you have any questions, any doubts, anything, always comment down. I would want you to read the RCs once properly. I would want you to give it more thought, right? Okay, all the best.